I'm rather curious how Erica actually does this safe lane clinks, and that is Erica. That's apparently his other username that he likes, YSR04E. I wonder what that's a reference to. It's an interesting one. Sounds like a, I don't know, it sounds like a mecha kind of thing. Like a Gundam or something.
That's so cringe.
It's not a Gundam. I'm pretty sure it's not. How dare you? Mechs are cool, Mike.
No,
What do you mean?
No, they're not. Every time you bring up mechs, I honestly start cringing. I can't stand
You
it.
are the lamest person I know in reality here, Mike.
JT,
Neff would be so disappointed in you.
break the smoke. I never could watch one mech anime. Honestly. Couldn't do it.
Seriously, Gurren Lagann is legitimately the exact same kind of anime that you would love. It's the most Mike LaPhoenix anime that I think I enjoy. Gurren Lagann. I think you'd love it.
Highly doubt.
Okay. All right. You don't need to reveal your trash taste to the world, Mike, but that's on you.
No Level 1 team fight to break out yet, these two teams. They're just chilling out for now. I did Google the name, by the way, John. I did want to check to see exactly where it does come from. An anime profile comes up, but I believe that is his anime profile picture, so... I still don't know where the name comes from. JT?
The battle begins.
You okay? Echoes, Super going to say hello to Baboka. It is going to be what appears to be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounty runes anyway. X-Nova going to go ahead and collect the last one, which was actually just left alone completely. So he'll go ahead and take that for his team. Will end up being a 2-for-2. Of course, that mid lane, you've got nothing to say. He's going to be up against the Pango of Echoes. Now, the mid lane, I mean, it does feel like it should still favor nothing to say, but overall, probably just going to be pretty even.
Yeah, this one tends to end up being even. You're just relying on your Tidebringer here as the Kunkka, unless Echoes misplays and uses all of its mobility early. Torrent harassment into just additional damage isn't going to be quite the reality here, for nothing to say. It is playable for the Pango. I don't think it's a complete washout for the Kunkka, but certainly just easier for the Kunkka without any mana cost for his harassment. So just going to be riding through that for nothing to say. It should be nice and stable. Echo is just going to have to work a little bit harder to try to secure his own lane. Can take a look at the other lanes here as well. I'm rather interested to see what Erica and Pichu end up doing on this Clinks and Venge lane. It's a really good synergistic lane with Tar Bomb and the Wave of Terror. So there's actually a lot to worry about here for JT early on. Baboka's going to have to zone them out really well on that Hoodwink, because the minus armor stacking and the bonus damage things will get with Tar Bomb, it is oppressive for both of these heroes if you're not careful. And we've seen Meepos go off to slow starts. It needs a pretty decent start here to hit those timings.
Yeah, I mean, I think JT will be fine anyway. We'll see if they can kind of pressure with this duo of the safe lane here for Team Aster. They are going to try now, in fact. JT take a bit of damage with that Wave of Terror. Baboka also taking a fair bit of damage here from Erica. Both heroes are going to be fine, but the harassment is just not slowing down whatsoever here at the top lane. How's the bottom lane going? You've got Super and Shengxi against X-Nova and Monet. For now, it seems like it's going pretty well here for Monet. No real contest. X-Nova is successfully able to just force Super out of the lane. It does feel like the Luna should have a relatively easy time here down at the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's not going to be too rough for Monet, but Shengxi does have the Breed Fire, and he's always within firing range of the Luna when she's coming in to right-click down the wave. You potentially, down the line, do have this double stun combination as well from Super and Shengxi. If they can go on top, it is just a little bit tricky. Phoenixes do punish pretty close movements out with Fire Spirits, so there's a lot of value here for X-Nova. X-Nova would be the ideal target, but again, gap closing onto him as a DK is not the simplest thing unless Super can somehow just self-set up with the Cookie himself. It's going to be a little bit more passive. Farm does end up favoring Monet overall, so you're not going to mind that slower lane coming out here. But Aster, they are just going to have to line up probably for that level 6. The one big thing for Super is, with the DK off, eventually you'll be able to leave that lane, try to look elsewhere, maybe start to make that rotation onto mid to contest runes, and potentially look for a kill opportunity down the line here.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely should be able to do so. Just classic DK, you know, you can leave these guys alone in the lane, they'll still push it out quite easily with the older dragon form. There's not really much the other team can do about it unless they just commit numbers to take him down. Mid lane, Echo's going to make the play onto Nothing to Say, but he will be able to survive through it. The Kunkka, top of the CS board right now. A little bit low on the HB pool, but again, I think is going to be perfectly fine. Didn't opt to get a bottle for himself, but that won't matter too much. He's got the double braces going. It can just X himself back to the fountain, so he will be just fine to reset. But yeah, overall, I think things are still going extremely well for G2.iG. Like, the only lane that's really struggling right now from their end is JT's lane on the Meepo, which is somewhat to be expected. But it does feel like he can always just go to the jungle and catch up anyway.
There's recovery here. I'm a little bit surprised they opt to leave that lane alone for Erica. Like, just not coming in, playing with that complete harassment. They do manage to secure both water runes as well on G2.iG, so the movement onto mid doesn't pan out. This is when the lane gets painful for Echoes. Like, without the bottle refill, without mana, you don't have any play against this Kunkka. So Nothing to Say has complete control over the lane. Gonna be able to just farm safely, hit that level 6 spike, and start threatening. It gets a little bit scary for Echoes at this point here.
I suppose it does. Echo's now really taking quite a bit of damage on the Pango. Rotation is incoming from JT. This is a very early rotation from a Meepo of all things. But he does have the other Meepo just sitting in the lane, so he can move in. Does get the Torrent off here from Nothing to Say, and the nets are there. So it seems as though the Pango is in dire straits as they will secure the first blood. Nothing to Say able to pick that one up. Meanwhile, they do lose their DK to boot, but JT will go down. So 2-for-1 trade in the favor of G2.iG. You do lose your offlane Meepo in the process, but it is well worth it.
It's pretty interesting to make that move. You're leaving free farm coming out for Erica. I suppose that doesn't change whether or not the Meepo's there. So it does pan out. Look at the positioning here from Aster, though.
They're surrounding Nothing to Say, and he is just gone. And Nothing to Say getting completely just pincered in from both sides, and they get some sweet revenge here against the Kunkka. Meanwhile, top lane.
Really worthwhile.
Well, they've got the Clinks now. He was free farming, not so much anymore, but they do run out of disables. Just no Earthbinds left, so the Clinks will be able to back his way out. But the pressure can certainly be applied here from this Meepo, it seems.
That it does. You've got the backup of the secondary Meepo, so there is enough HP to spread around if you just juggle them right, and a lot of good damage with the level 2 poof ready. So there's some presence coming out here from JT early on. Overall, I would say this is still a pretty good map state for G2.iG despite some movements down bot, though.
They have found Monet. A very long-range cookie from Super gonna land. Sheng Tzu, I mean, he was right on the edge with that cookie, but it does end up connecting in the end, and Monet, that is a much bigger kill for Team Aster to secure.
Yeah, pressuring this Luna. This is the right target to gun down. You are still in a really good position here for Monet. So it doesn't hurt the most, but it is gold. It's a good gold influx here for the side of Aster, and that is something that will allow them to start to get some levels out into Sheng Tzu. Still stuck at level 4 as the movement comes in.
Bottom lane, Sheng Tzu is just gone. Monet able to get a bit of revenge for himself. The bottom tier 1 tower now with the siege creep available will not be lasting too long here for Team Aster. There's really nothing they can do about it. They'll just let it go. There will be no defense to be had. That's a 3-3, but it does feel like G2.iG is still coming out on top. The one big saving grace right now is the fact that this Clinks is still top of the CS board, so Erica is farming extremely well. But apart from that, it does feel like G2.iG is slowly taking map control.
That they are, and it's a little bit concerning. This is one synergy I didn't really think about, but Lunar Blessing with Meepo is just so much additional damage. 15 over 2 Meepos, 15 over 3. It becomes oppressive for the push. They'll try to make a move onto mid.
Nothing to Say is going to be alright. The Rolling Thunder completely kind of whiffed here. They will still be able to perhaps... No, they get unlucky with the power rune as well. The Team Aster will not pick that up. However, they do pick up JT. JT with one of the Meepo clones does just kind of run through the river. Is caught with his pants down and he will die.
They're slowing down that Meepo's timings. The defusal can be a little bit slower. Once that's up, maybe the chase down becomes a lot more effective here for JT. For now, he is that sacrificial core, right? He's buying space for Nothing to Say, and for Monet. Monet still having the freest time of his life down bot, not even any presence now from Shang-Tzu, just opting to just farm up on his own as well. I think the concerning thing is that the connections for Erica on the Clinks, right? This is one thing with the Clinks. He is going for the Desolator build-up, so he is going to be looking for some early kills and to push. It's going to be hard to connect with your DK, who, again, doesn't have anything to boost his durability just yet. Opts for the 3-1-1 build as well in the offlane DK, which I don't mind for Shang-Tzu. But it does mean that he isn't the safest tier to actually leave alone, as we've seen time and time again. So there is always a running risk here. Smoke out from G2.iG. Nothing to say. He's got the boat ready. He wants to go hunting.
Yeah, up towards the top lane. They might find Erica. And they will. Erica caught out with the X. Torrent and boat will be thrown out, but he does have help around the corner. Echoes, nice swap out as well to ensure the Clinks does not take too much damage. Nothing to say. Just trapped up here by the Rolling Thunder, and with the perma-stunts coming out, he is going to die. Team Aster. They do rotate very effectively to ensure that that Clinks does remain safe. And nobody ends up dropping here from Team Aster.
Just a lot of durability on the area at this point in the game. We talked about G2.iG being tanky, and you've got the swap in the barrier, you've got DK, you've got a Pango up front without any way of stopping that roll through spell immunity. So you have a lot of ways of playing this early tempo and early durability out here for the side of Aster. Going to be sieging onto top, but there's enough time for the TPs here.
Well, there is, but can they actually defend? Doesn't really feel like it. In fact, Nothing to Say now. Being chased down again. Swashed through. They know the Kunkka just respawned and just TP'd in, but he's gone. Oh, what a play from Team Aster, just rushing right in, anticipating the TP. And they still get the T1 tower. They'll find some ancient stacks for themselves. That's a real mess for G2.iG, just losing so much.
I think the main issue for G2.iG right now is that your offlane Meepo for JT, I mean, it didn't do too badly considering the circumstances. It has a couple of deaths, but the real issue is just the fact that you have to wait for so much item timings on this offlane Meepo. Like, after the defusal, still not going to be able to chase down fully. You don't have the best jump initiation on G2.iG outside of just X-Mark, maybe a good bushwhack from Baboka. Like, there's not a lot of fast play you can get done. Whereas Aster at this moment with very minimal farm, swap saves a lot, Rolling Thunder from Echoes is easy enough to set up. Cookie gives you a little bit more range for that initiation as well. Nothing to say again.
Oh no, mid lane, Nothing to Say. He gets the boat run buff out, but wow, he is dead again.
Jesus.
My goodness.
I mean, that's three in a row for him. Back to back.
That's a problem.
Just
That is
respawn,
a big
TP,
problem.
die. That's not a good sign. And it's again down to the fact that G2.iG just can't respond or won't respond. They're not mass TPing in. They've got the egg ready. Again, JT has the fusel, but isn't quite that tanky Meepo just yet without the Ags. They're still hunting here.
Baboka not safe. Team Aster just completely running over the side of G2.iG. My goodness, just such aggression with this draft. They'll take the mid-tier 1 tower, they'll smoke again. Rotating down towards the bottom side of the map where they may find Monet, but no, Monet's going to TP away. Does get a nice scan off here onto Team Aster, seeing them roaming through the Radiant jungle. But I love it, like their Clinks is online now and they just want to play with him. In fact, Erica's currently stalking JT again. TP's coming in, JT top lane. Oh, he just used the poof as well. He poofed onto the creep wave, not expecting these rotations, and he will pay for it. Bottom, Baboka, he'll be alright. They won't catch him. Yet. Though Echoes is still having a look around. Like, he might find him with the defusal blade in a moment, but no, he's out of range.
Again, for G2.iG, it's this farm heavy reliance on these two cores that are hurting them. Like, even Nothing to Say doesn't quite have enough to be fully online. Double Bracer does allow him to frontline, but there's just no backup for this Kunkka, right? Like, he gets the boat off. We're not seeing the egg commitment from X-Nova just because, like, who else is going to do damage, right? Meepo is not ready, Luna's not ready, so you just have to cop these losses. Aster playing to this early timing really well. not having to deal with that durability stacking up yet. They've got the damage early on. Again, with very minimal farm. Going to be able to find a bot tier 1 for their trouble. No contest coming out from the side of G2.iG. And clearing out all these tier 1 towers. Aster, they're already crossing that river many times. This will allow them to really start to finely hunt Monet and constantly try to punish JT if he tries to sneak into the creep wave a little bit too far from his tier 1s. Still nothing to say is the one spreading out on mid.
Oh boy, again. They catch him out from the side. Magic Missile's going to land. Kisses to fly in and nothing to say. Is being smothered by Team Aster. They are not giving him any space on this map.
Certainly aren't. 3-10, 2k lead. Aster, they've done a phenomenal job of just playing to this tempo. And G2.iG just, again, no response. Just waiting for farm, waiting for Ags on JT, for a BKB on Monet. And I don't know, even like the Meepo Ags might not be enough at the current levels. Right? It only feels really great once you have more stats. The burst damage that Aster will have is probably still enough to take care of a Mega Meepo here. They'll have to find a response at some point, G2.iG. We need to see a play with the Ghost Ship and the Egg with the Sunray. Like, this durability has to kick in at some point.
Well, mid lane, they've got Echoes. Problem is they do have a swap out from the vent, so he's going to be just fine. As now the Rolling Thunder does come in. Echoes wants to go for the fight, but he's alone. He needs to get out. He will go for the run. Nothing to say, still on the chase, looking for an X-Back, but is not going to quite find it. They will be able to secure a mid-tier 1 tower while they're here.
It helps equalize the map a little bit, and they do finally get some action going their way in G2.iG. And all things considered, you know, it's 4-10. The lead from Aster has not been massive. It peaked at what, maybe 2k advantage for the side of Aster. G2.iG have been able to keep up in farm. So they have been able to just keep parity in terms of working the map despite the shrunken map space, and that's really important with this lineup that, again, needs this build-up. So it's on Aster, actually, to just keep this tempo up. Right, they've got the Desolator up on Erica. Probably wants to start hunting some heroes down, maybe threaten Roshan off the back of a good team fight, and just try to play off the back of that, because despite all these kills, I mean, it's been on nothing to say. Sure, he's bottom network core, but he's a Kunkka. He's still going to be effective with just Boat and X Torrent. Like, that's more than enough to just give you a lot of control here. Aster will try to get that hunt going. See if they manage to spot anything out. They don't have the best forward vision considering all the plays they made, so a little bit dark here.
It certainly is. Oh, Monet, though, does narrowly avoid them. He takes the Ancient Camp and just runs. Oh, very close call. Had he been a second or two later, he may have just been caught. But he will make it out for now.
Dire's courier has been killed.
It seems as though Team Aster, they're not going to find anything for this rotation yet. G2.iG now looking very well aware that they are quite aware of where they are. G2.iG, they're going to go for their own smoker. Keep in mind they do have the Ags now up on JT, so a bit of a power spike here for G2.iG. Looking at Shang Tzu. He's going to get caught out by a torrent. Still fine, but not for long. He is just melting. The Dragon Knight is down. Super going to try for the TP play out, but oh, they don't catch him. Not reacting quite quick enough. They'll have to leave with just a Dragon Knight kill, but they could look towards Roshan.
This is going to be a really quick Rosh with 4 Meepos up, maxed out Lunar Blessing. That's plus almost 80 damage if all of the Meepos just commit. And it's not going to take long for this Roshan to fall. That's a beautiful Luna Meepo. Just Lunar Blessing on each individual one is pretty oppressive. It's a nice quick take here for G2.iG. They get the advantage now off the back of that kill. And it's Aster that are falling behind. I mean, they have a really good first 10 to what, 14 minutes of the game where they're just hyper aggressive. But they kind of slow down that pace. Like, I think it stems back to Erica just farming, right? He was joining a lot of these early engagements and then tries to go back, gets the Desolator, and then once the Deso was up, they don't find the openings. Like, they need to snowball off of this Clinks, because you're reaching that point where the connections are coming from G2.iG, and again, even in a wider team fight, the durability is going to be an issue here.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Aster certainly slowing down with the momentum they had.
Gold for my chest.
G2.iG
Radiant are scanning.
now just suddenly swinging the whole net worth graph their way. I mean, Team Aster, they are still trying to go for a fight, it seems. They have grouped up down on the bottom side of the map. That is a weird number from Dota Plus, 100% for Team Aster, apparently.
Tower is under
A
attack.
little bit early, I would say.
It flatlined from the start.
That's all right. You know,
It's been a.
Gaben has his ways, Jonathan. You know, he
He
might be
knows.
right. He knows.
He knows
he
something,
might be
Mike.
right.
He's
So
read
the
the
Team Aster
script.
win, or G2.iG will disappear after this game. It's you know, one way or the other. Team Aster's winning.
That's some next level analytics right there. Still, G2IG will be able to just take this top tier 2. They know something we don't, Mike. That's what I wish we knew. What do they know? Erica sieging bot. I mean, this can go fast with the clinks, but again, it's a 0 charge desolator.
They want the fight.
Yeah.
G2.iG, they want the fight. They've rotated through the twin gates down towards the bottom side of the map. Oh, Erica, don't show on the map, sir. He's going to get X'd up. They've got the big target in the Clinks right now. They're going to try and save the Clinks with the swap out, and he is going to be safe for now. They'll lose their Venge instead. Onto Super they go. Super copping the brunt of the Eclipse from Monet. Will also drop as JT picks up a double kill. In fact, make that a triple by the seams of it. They have found the Dragon Knight. JT will take a triple. Such an easy fight for G2.iG. Just as soon as they picked up the Ags on the Meepo, that was it. Apparently the whole game just turned.
That gives JT the confidence to just show up with all of the Meepos in hand, with how durable he knows he is. He's got the shard as well to take additional risks up front for the team. And this is where we see some of that damage and durability issues come out for Aster. They are fairly durable. Their damage not going to be enough to eat through the full complement coming out here from G2.iG. Inside of G2.iG, just find a free tormentor for themselves here. Get that shard now on Nothing to Say. Probably the best shard you could have hoped for at this point. Maybe the Phoenix shard, which you already have in X-Nova, would have been a little bit better if that didn't exist yet. Still, tidal wave for the pullback now. Just more ways to make these team fights chaotic. Ags up on Nothing to Say as well. Your options are growing limited for Aster. They really shined on the pickoff game, but again, just a little bit of a slowdown. And with the fact that despite all the losses, G2.iG has been farming very efficiently across the map. Now you're at 7k deficit, 8 to 10, it doesn't matter. Smoke out from Aster, but no, they have to isolate one.
Dire's bottom
They can't take the wider team fight right now.
We're going to go bottom lane. JT, copper rolling thunder here from Echoes. Again, he does have the Mega Meepo form, so he can always go to that if necessary. They'll still just stun lock him at the moment. There's your Mega Meepo coming out. The Sunray will heal him up as well. JT willing to just go frontline and tank all the damage they are throwing out, as now the boat will fly in. Nothing to say, he'll land too with the Torrent Storm. They are all just trapped in the water park. There is no escape. Echoes trying to get his way out, will be ensnared by JT, and he is gone.
Dire's bottom
It's too much. There's just too much utility on G2.iG. Too many ways to just stun lock people. And the Team Aster, they are just drowning here at G2.iG.
Yeah, they are. And there's no backline jump to cancel off the Sunray in the middle. The percent healing onto the Mega Meepo is just phenomenal. Then you still have Dig to play with. Like, JT does not care. He is the front line. He was vulnerable without these items, but we're at the point where you start to see the reasons why Meepo is a first phase ban. It is scary. JT?
What are you
All right.
doing, sir? JT's running right towards the fountain. JT, be careful.
All right.
What are you doing?
All right.
What's he doing? He's just been left
He
alone.
wants to
They don't even want him.
He wants a reset. Okay.
What?
All right, JT.
He's gone.
I mean, Aegis was set to expire, you know, and like
Okay.
I think he had like a second on it, right at that 3-minute mark. So gets really smart usage out
JT,
from the Aegis.
Calm
I
down,
guess.
JT. I can only wish we had a camera on JT right now. I can imagine the face he'd have on. Yeah, he's got that classic trolley smile that he puts on every time he knows he's got the game in the bag.
Yeah, it's like it just reminds you of that time when he managed to get the double cliff, then died
Oh,
to the
yeah.
neutrals. Just being efficient, JT. I appreciate that, sir.
We appreciate it. Disperser is now available on the Meepo. This is a really busted item when it comes to Meepo. Like, what a perfect item for this hero. Top lane, Baboka. Gonna run into Erica. We'll see the Hoodwink eventually, and Erica will blow him up. They do get a little bit of a something.
That's the first Deso charge for Erica in, I want to say, the 5, closer to 7 minutes he's had this Desolator, so it's a 100% increase over that time. Pretty good for the Clinks to start ramping up this damage. I think the issue for Aster, again, going forward is just, you have some damage issues. There is scaling, for sure, but I don't know, it's been a while since we've seen Clinks on that pause 1. He still needs a lot of items to really start to be a massive threat in these fights. The BKB has to come first for the durability, and then you can start to consider more damage items up, maybe the Nullifier to come in to just help control. Just a way to jump the backline and melt them fast. 14k lead stands for G2.iG. JT on the top of the world right now on this Meepo, but his cores aren't too far behind either. You've got the Ags from Echo here for Aster, so do have the additional swashes coming in with the shield crash, which can be quite useful. Just feels like he needs a little bit more damage on Echo. Like, he is free to roll around. There is still no stopping that roll outside of the egg popping in the middle of it, but it doesn't feel threatening enough here.
Oh, X out mid lane from nothing to say, but it's just a bit of a warning shot. Here onto Echoes. Oh, Erica having a roam around in this the skeletal walk. Oh, but Boka does hit him with the dust. Will not hit him with the bushwhack though. It's the Spidey senses tingling there from Baboka apparently. They do jump in. Jingsu trying to get some damage off, but Monet has the ulti just thrown out right into the Dragon Knight. They'll swap the DK out of there to try and save, but now the net's coming in. JT catches out both supports with that. Erica trying to BKB and run. It is not looking great for him. Meanwhile, Echoes gets caught. Echoes is gone. They're throwing everything at G2.iG, but they're just taking no damage. And once the Meepo shows up, it's just all over.
It really is. I mean, again, you're just playing to the run buff, playing into even the potential of Mega Meepo, which doesn't even fly out here for JT in that last fight. There's just too much sustain. There's not enough backline jump outside of Echo trying to roll around. They call the GG. Aster understands what's going on here. A dominant game once more from G2.iG. Aster, they had really good moments in this game too. Like, they had this strong tempo early, playing around with the Clinks and the push and the damage they had, playing around with this minus armor stacking and just running down these tier 1s fast, but they couldn't follow through. And I think it was just that